Ladies and gentlemen, 107 on a Saturday afternoon. That means one thing. Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton. We're going to cover three big stories, our three big topics today. We're going to talk about fraud. We're going to talk about fraud that's going on. We're going to talk about holiday conversations and expectations for 2026.
Hello and happy Festivus to the rest of us. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, however you celebrate. We are so excited to be here with you this holiday week.
So let's start with the holidays.
Yes.
The holidays are coming up. We got the live remote next Saturday from Butler Lexus. You're going to be there doing your show.
I'm going to hang out at the car dealership and talk to people live. If you want to meet me and Kevin, we will be live streaming from his location at his dealership.
Yep, live broadcast. So what you wanted to talk about holidays and what's going on now and how that relates.
The reason is because the holidays, when people are getting together with their families, it is the ideal time to talk about your future together. So in real estate, what that looks like, this is a real estate centric show. And to help people I'm not saying you have to buy or sell a house next year. But when you're with your family, it is a great time to do a review of your circumstances because life stages change. And when you're with your family, I mean, there's lots of conversations that can go any which way. But if we're talking about real estate is the vehicle for people to grow their net worth, young people have affordability issues. Getting into a home is not people who did everything right. They go to school, they go to college, they get a good job, and lo and behold, they can't afford to buy a house. What's up with that? That is different than it was a generation ago. So circumstances have changed. If you're talking about that with your family gathered together over the holiday season, there are things you can do that we are seeing work for people to help with affordability issues. I want to talk about that, how you can help position younger people in the family. Shelley, the average age of a first-time buyer nationally now is over 40 years old.
Wow.
That's crazy. In the last decade that it's gone so much, it's because affordability is a problem. And we have an opportunity to help people find a way around that. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. In fact, I'll tell you, it's hard. But hard doesn't mean it's impossible. And we can help people achieve homeownership goals. And what that will do for them is if you wait until you're after 40 before you buy your home, you are delaying the growth of your net worth. And there are influencers on social media right now that are advising people don't buy a home, rent forever. And
really?
I think that's a mistake.
Right.
It's my personal opinion and the opinion of other well-respected people in the real estate industry. I know that could be heard as, oh, she just sells houses for a living. She just wants to sell more houses. But there is a lot of data to support that people who rent and never own a home never have the opportunity to grow their net worth.
Right.
And
because that's your number one asset, correct?
It is for most people.
Most people, yeah.
Yes. And because that's your easiest way to grow your net worth, over the course of your lifetime, you have the opportunity to impact generationally your kids and grandkids. Now, you're going to be with your grandparents, your parents, everybody. There is an opportunity for people who have equity in their homes. They have solid retirement accounts. One option is to help the younger generation with down payment. You can help them. I'm not saying co-sign for a loan. That you don't want to be held to that. Like don't necessarily do that. If you want to do that, that's great.
Let me ask you this question, because something just occurred to me. Is it better to co-sign on a loan or just give the money to your grandchildren to buy a house? Not all of it, but a down payment.
So it's a great question because it depends on your circumstances.
Gotcha.
When you co-sign on a loan with somebody, that means your credit, your debt to income ratio, you are an applicant on the mortgage.
Right.
What's going to happen is if you in turn then want to go buy something else, your credit is tied to that person. If that co-borrower fails to make the payment and that's your agreement that you've had in place, you're on the hook for it. Versus, helping a younger person with down payment. If they can accept a gift of X dollars, a good amount of a down payment, getting them their down payment so they can put 3 or 5% down on a home, that cash gift can go all the way. That is the game changer of a difference for people who want to buy a home. Now, of course, you have to have a good relationship, because that money could be working for you. But if you know your retirement is ready and in place, and borrowing against it or pulling equity out of your home to help however you need to do it, if you can afford to make that difference, that could be the game changer to getting somebody who's maybe under the age of 40 into a home, because house prices are going to continue to go up, not as rapidly as they used to, but even if they increase 3 to 5% in a 12-month period for the next couple of years, it's not going to get cheaper.
Right.
So getting in a home now, nobody ever said, I wish I had waited, when other than 2008, we're looking at a history over where housing prices are going to continue to increase.
Right.
So that being said, now
even after 2008, that went down, but it
came back up.
Right.
Yeah, it just took a little bit longer.
Right.
So waiting to buy a home, it just has proven, the data shows it doesn't help somebody long term. Now, the other flip side of this, when you're with your grandparents, your parents, it is time to have those conversations. I'm not saying everybody should go sell their house, but I'm saying when you're together with your family, it's time to consider factors like, is grandma really able to maintain this house?
Right.
Is the expense and the work it takes to remain in this big house with stairs or basement or yard work, the things, it's time to start doing that. And I'm encouraging everybody to do it in love and with consideration for where they are. Nobody wants to be shoved out of their home by their family because they're too old. Like, be nice to each other.
Right. Especially at Christmas time.
Right. Grandma, come on, it's time to go. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think having kind and considerate conversations about this during the holidays, hey, Mom, the house looks great, lead into a conversation about what are your plans. Because when I work with families who haven't had those conversations previously, it's harder. It is harder. And moving after you've been in a home for many, many years, it's not easy. There is a hardship involved on the people, just the packing up, the decluttering, making decisions is emotional. And that's what we do every day when we meet and have consultations with families. Wherever they are, we have to take into consideration their stage of life, their capability, their financial situation, and how much help they have around them. These are the conversations that are easy to have during the holiday period. And that's why I wanted to bring it up so everybody who's listening knows how. Now, if you know your family needs to make a move in the next year, you can't start soon enough preparing. 6, 8, 12 months ahead of time is not too soon to be having that consult. It's a guided conversation about how do you prepare and what does that look like. If you're selling, download the free home report card. That is a good tool that I put online to help people just evaluate. There's no obligation to that. There's no obligation to have a conversation. It is what it is, but there are certain things that need to happen before you sell. And if you're buying, the same thing. Getting prepared ahead of time. 6 to 12 months in advance of making a purchase is not too soon to have that conversation to make sure you're prepared.
What does preparing look like? So you have the conversation with family. What else does preparing? You download the report card, but what is preparing? What does that look like for the listeners?
For a buyer, that means looking at your financial situation and then evaluating the area you want to live and evaluating your lifestyle choices. What matters to you? How is your job? What is your income going to look like in the next several years? And what stage of life are you at? Are you single? Are you newly married? Have you been married a while and you need a bigger space? What do you need for your kids? How close are you to your parents? Our parents are aging. And if you need to be close to your parents, making a move, leave your parents in their home and move closer to them so you can be a resource. These are the types of conversations that I have with people all the time, and every good agent in Atlanta, these are normal conversations for us to have. But people often think, oh, realtors just, sell houses, open doors, go to parties, post on Instagram. That's not what we do. We have real impactful conversations with people. And that's why you hire us.
404-872-0750. 1-800-WSB-TALK. The name of the show is Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton. She's with the agency Atlanta. She is the expert on all things Georgia real estate. So please give her a call, get your questions ready, and give her a call at 404-872-0750 or 1-800-WSB-TALK. We will be right back with Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton. We're back inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton of the agency Atlanta. So, Deborah, when we went to break, you said, I asked you, what does preparing look like? And you started talking about if you're looking to buy a home. You want to finish that?
Well, the main thing with where we see a lack of preparation hurt buyers is that they haven't taken the time to assess their finances. And I'm not talking about necessarily making your credit application, but let's say it's December, it's the holidays. You know that sometime next year you are interested in buying a home. It is a good time right now. Lock your credit down. Don't allow we're going to talk to
when
fraud.
When you say lock it down, what does that mean?
Yeah, just close it so that you don't have inquiries going in. You want to not be making inquiries to your credit. You want to make sure that your spending is in check, your debt is reducing. You want to have 6 months of really good on-time payments, credit, all of those things for everybody. But when we talk about the fraud that I'm seeing in real estate right now, one thing that buyers can do now, and it really should be for everybody, is just close all the loopholes, because your public information, I think AI might be a little bit out of control right now. What we're seeing is information being scraped, and there's a lot more fraud happening. We're all aware wire fraud is real. It's on every email signature in anybody that has anything to do with finance. But there are ways you can protect yourself if you're going to make a major purchase, which requires you having high credit and a low debt to income ratio. Sometime in 2026, you can prepare now to make sure everything's nice and tidy when the time comes to apply for a mortgage.
So, shutting down your credit, how does one do that? Do you just tell your bank?
Go online. Yeah, there's online resources. I'll put it on our site so that it's an easy to find link. It's not there right now, but now that we're talking about it, I'll go back on and add it to the InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com website, so that way people can just find it more easily.
Gotcha.
But you just want to protect yourself and know that you never have enough money when you're buying a house. It doesn't matter how much money you have.
So that was for the buyers.
Yes.
For sellers, what does preparation look for sellers?
That looks like preparing the actual house itself. You can start decluttering a year ahead of moving. I promise you, if you've been in your house more than 10 years, your closets are full, your basement is full, your attic is full. There's plenty of stuff that needs to be removed, sorted, gone through, donated. The charities are desperate. This is the time of year to go through your house, clean out your closets, get rid of the old blankets. The shelters need them. They need coats. They need all the stuff that is piled up in your house that you have no need for any longer. Go ahead and clear out now. And then it's time to do an assessment of the home. Does your deck need repairing? Does your front walkway, are the gutters? Is it time to replace the gutters? There's lots of things you can do to improve the sellability of your home, the marketability, and how it looks in advance. Waiting till the last minute, like even 30, 60, 90 days out, then you're rushing. And you don't have to pick when you're going to move. You can start this preparation process well in advance.
That's the whole point of this.
That's the whole point, yes.
For both sides, buyers and sellers.
Right.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. If you want to send Deborah an email, you go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com, and you could send an email to there. You can download the app on your phone, the Inside Georgia Real Estate app, and you have the home report card.
Right.
The app. Explain that really quickly.
What that is a simple form you can download, and it helps put in order. You're going to walk through your home with the perspective of a buyer in the future. You check the boxes. How does my front entry look? How does my foyer look? How does my dining room, living room, kitchen? And it has specific things on there. And you can rate yourself. Give yourself a numerical rating, and we convert it to a letter. When your home is an A, you're going to sell for more money and faster. And that's my job, is to help teach people how to do that.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. When we come back, we're going to talk about growing fraud in real estate. We'll be right back.
This podcast is supported by The RealReal. Meet Christine. She loves shopping. And this is the sound of fashion overload. Too many fabulous things, not enough space. So Christine started selling with The RealReal.
I've always loved collecting designer pieces. Gucci bags, Prada heels. But my style keeps evolving. Selling with The RealReal? Game changer. I earn more, and they do everything.
Seriously, just drop off your items or schedule a pickup. We handle the photos, descriptions, pricing, even shipping. You just sit back and watch your items sell fast to our 38 million members.
And I get peace of mind knowing I earn more selling with The RealReal than anywhere else.
Exactly. That's the sound of your closet working for you. The RealReal. Earn more, save time, sell fast. And right now, you can get an extra $100 site credit when you sell for the first time. Go to therealreal.com to get your extra $100. Therealreal.com. That's therealreal.com.
Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton. That's the name of the show. I'm Shelley Winter. Deborah, when we were going to break, you were talking about fraud. There's an increase in fraud. Tell us what's going on.
So, in my opinion, all of the technology, the AI, everything that is developed over the last couple of years is increasing the capacity of fraudsters to access your personal information.
Okay.
So I think we all need to be, because this is kind of my public service announcement, everybody needs to be conscious of the fact that there are AI bots crawling the internet, and it's very easy to find personal information. This past week, I have 3 different fraud situations that I'm trying to help people sort through. One was a land lot that is not for sale. Somebody contacted me to sell their property. They provided all the information I needed to list this property for sale, including identifications with like everything.
Right.
If I weren't experienced, I would have put this property on the market because the fraudster gave me everything they needed. It's simply that I'm experienced, and I was able to be like, something is just not right here. So I was able to track down the rightful owner, finally got a hold of the police department, the sheriff's office, to try to get some law enforcement interaction. I'll keep you posted. It's not resolved. It's still ongoing. Secondly, we had a wire fraud attempt.
Wait. How could it not be resolved? You have the rightful owner, right?
But we need law enforcement to act. And there's one, it's hard to reach law enforcement who will handle a case like this.
Gotcha.
2, it's hard to track down. It's possible this fraudster is out of the country.
Gotcha.
And 3, proving all of this.
Gotcha.
Like building a case takes time, and they disappear real quick.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the next issue was a wire fraud with a closing we had. We're talking about $40,000 of cash money that was wired. the email chain was intercepted by a fraudster. So one of my agents, it looked like we have all the documentation, but the fraudster created a fraudulent Outlook account with my agent's name. So the client thought it was the agent contacting him.
Wow.
And it was similar enough. Now, there was no email signature, his picture, everything. So somebody with a sharp eye would have caught it, but many people aren't expecting it. They're like, oh,
Right.
the agent sent me an email. Here's the new wiring instructions.
Right.
And they followed it. So if you're going to wire money, you have to get on the phone and call before you send funds
Right.
or receive funds. Super important. In this particular case, our closing attorney partner and the bank recognized what a human caught, that there was a discrepancy, and it was thwarted. So $40,000 saved this week. Yay
Wow.
for that. And then the third issue was somebody who contacted me, wanted to sell her property. She has the will. The property was assigned to her with a will, but I looked up the tax records and it was quit claimed to somebody else a week before the man passed away. I'm still stepping through this one to try to help her
Okay.
figure out what to happen.
So she
Yes.
has property.
She has the property. According to her, she is the rightful person to put the property on the market and sell it. But when I pull up the records, and again, we're still stepping through it, but
Right.
these are the things that are so time consuming, helping people figure out who actually owns this property.
Right.
It's now assigned to an LLC name on the tax return. What I see, and she said, well, what was the date? Well, that happened before he passed away. So this is definitely beyond the scope of my
Right.
what I do for a living.
And he could have been the one to Pat give it
Well,
to someone.
apparently no, because he was completely incapacitated.
Yeah.
On
So
that
somebody
date.
did that.
Yeah. So who knows what happened? And
Right.
again, this is like, I am a real estate salesperson. Like
Right.
this is, but I'm connecting her with who she needs to try to get this resolved. But it's a tangled mess. There are so many opportunities for fraud happening right now, and it's as technology improves and expands, we're going to see more of this. So my public service announcement part is, y'all beware. Be
Right.
conscious of the fact that there are people out there trying to steal your personal information, your money, and your property.
Right. Exactly.
We
right.
all have to work together to keep that from happening.
And one of the easiest ways, and this, one of the easiest ways of doing that is just go through InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com, because everything is legit there. Everything will be looked at there.
Well, and there's lots of great brokers. Like, it's not just me. The
Right.
professionals who work full
It is
time
just
in
you.
this industry. It is
It is
just me.
just
You're
you.
right. I'm the only one in Atlanta. But the professionals who work at this full time, we work with trusted attorneys and mortgage lenders, and you're going to be surrounded by a team of professionals who checks all the boxes. We cross the T's, dot the I's. We do everything you need. That's what full service real estate professionals do for their clients. And you have a right to expect that. You should not be on your own when you're transacting real estate. We do it every day. Our clients do it maybe every 3 to 5, 7 years.
Right.
Some people once
never
in a
done it before.
lifetime.
Right.
And you hire us for a reason. It's not just to open a door to a house to look at the paint and the carpet. There's so much more on the back end, and it's getting more serious.
Right.
From what I see in the last 10 years, I see a significant change in what's happening on the back end, and everybody needs to be conscious of it. So that's important.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK, 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Deborah, give us, what are the expectations for the real estate business? This is one of our last shows of the year.
Yes.
What are the expectations for the real estate business going into 2026?
So it's so fascinating to watch, because 2024 and 2025 was the lowest volume of transactions that were nationally in 30 years. Since 1995, there haven't been fewer transactions. So what we call that is a pretty flat market. We all know that affordability is an issue. Mortgage rates are an issue for people. And it looks like inflation is not quite in check. The employment outlook, the metrics that the Fed uses to make financial decisions about rates impacts the mortgage industry. And the outlook is still pretty bleak. Everybody is saying they're expecting mortgage rates to fall in 2026, and they will. And if inflation and everything stays stable, Lawrence Yun is the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors. He's predicting a 14% increase in transactions in 2026. Wow. That is a big increase, but not when you consider we're 2 years flat. It'll just be a normal. I don't know that 14% will be really that readily evident in people's perceptions of what's happening. Where it's going to impact buyers and sellers is a balanced market with a healthy give and take in negotiating prices will keep prices stable. Their negotiations will happen, and it will be a fair and balanced market for people to transact. There is a backlog of people who need to move and who want to move. We're going to see houses come on the market, and we're going to see buyers who are qualified and ready because they've been saving money. We want to see more of that this year. The other interesting factor is the number of agents who were licensed that let their licenses go the last couple of years.
Gotcha.
The part-time agents are falling out of the industry, and in my opinion, that's a good thing.
I was going to ask, is that a good thing? And are they falling out of the part-time agents that are they falling out of the industry because of problems in the industry, the changes in the industry? What is it?
It's all the things. It's hard to make a living in real estate if you dabble. And as fast as the lawsuits, all the things that we talk about with requirements, compliance, lawsuits, changes, money, fewer transactions to go around. If you're a part-time agent and you don't do this full-time, you really aren't able to help people at the highest level possible.
Gotcha.
And I will continue to be vocal about it, that with people's biggest asset, most people, their home purchase and sale, it's the biggest asset transfer that is going to happen in their lifetime. Getting professional guidance is helpful. Now, we all know not every agent is created equally, and every consumer deserves to hire somebody who is skilled, professional, and capable. And that's what I want to see more of. So it doesn't bother me. I mean, my company, the agency Atlanta, is having its best year ever. Is that because we're so fantastic? Well, of course, but that's not the point. What I'm saying is, as agents get away, the people who are left working, and it's not just us, they're the other full-time agents, we're doing more transactions, and the transactions are being handled more smoothly, more effectively, because we're working with qualified professionals. And that's better for the industry. It's better for, if you want to buy or sell a house, to make sure you're working with somebody who's good, and they're going to make sure they work with somebody like me who's good.
InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com. That's where you would go to send emails to Deborah, to put in and fill out the home report card, or just get simple questions answered. InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com. The app has vendors you can contact.
All kinds of good stuff on the mobile app. You can download it for free from the Play Store or wherever you download your apps. It's good. All of these things, to sum it all up, the reason we talk about that is because every consumer deserves quality work from their agent. Your agent should be advising you how to prepare your home for sale, what the photos should look like. You should not accept less. I did have an unfortunate situation.
Let's talk about that. When we come back, we're getting ready to go to break. When we come back, I want to ask you, have you ever run into an unprofessional agent that you've had to work with because you have a client?
Yes.
All right, that's coming up next.
We'll spill the tea.
Spill the tea on Inside Georgia Real Estate with my I can't say sister anymore. With
yes,
my professional partner, and we do a show together, Deborah Morton. Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton. I've got to be more professional, they said. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. We'll be right back. Inside Georgia Real Estate with my dear friend, Deborah Morton. Deborah, we have a call. You want to tell the caller?
Yeah. Lynn, I will. Why don't you send me a message on InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com, because Lynn's question is she wants to sell a house to her daughter and buy another in the same neighborhood using a legacy trust. And Lynn, this is more in depth than we have time for in the last couple of minutes of the show. This is what I'm talking about with the family conversations to have, where you can rearrange your real estate that works for your whole family. And there's a lot of different ways to go about it. But I am going to put a pin in this trust situation and revisit it next week so that we can go into it more in depth. Okay. There's a lot to it. And it is one way how you structure your real estate transactions can be very beneficial to your family. So,
Lynn, please go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com and send Deborah an email. And if you're anywhere in the area of Union City next Saturday, come down to the live broadcast and you can meet Deborah in person. Deborah, you had an incident this week. It kind of illustrates what happens.
Why you should hire a good agent. So I don't know what the backstory was on this situation, but I have a buyer who really needs a house, and we have a time crunch on it. We saw the pictures online. They were really awful, embarrassing, and should be used as the poster for what not to do when you're trying to sell a home. Yet in this area, there are very few homes for sale, so my client wanted to go see it anyway. But the whole scenario was difficult, very difficult, because she can only look at homes after work, and it's dark, it's cold, she's dragging her kids with her, it's not ideal scenario, but this is what we got to do to help find her a house. So we get to the house, it's completely dark. There's no lockbox. There's no way to access the house. And the agent connects me to the seller, the homeowner, which, why did you hire an agent? You don't want me talking to the homeowner. Right. My client's feedback was not favorable. She didn't even walk into the house because it was such a scary, it was dark, it was cold, there was big dogs in the backyard, and she had her 2 little kids with her.
Right.
It was too nerve-wracking. After seeing, she was already on the fence about seeing this house because the pictures were so bad. Right. But when somebody needs a house, they're willing to overlook a lot because they wanted to buy it. So it was just an unfortunate situation because I believe it may be the right house for her, but the whole scenario was so off-putting that she's wiping her hands of it. I'm done here. Ew.
And that real estate agent could have quite possibly has lost a deal.
Yes.
And you're losing a deal.
Well, and it's worse because that real estate agent ended up connecting me to the homeowner, and he didn't like what I had to say. And I cleaned it up.
Right.
I really cleaned it up.
Right.
So that whole scenario didn't have to happen if his agent had done a good job. That's all I'm saying. Hire somebody competent, somebody who's good, who knows what they're doing, and then please listen to your agent.
Inside Georgia Real Estate is how you can get in touch with Deborah, or you can come out and meet her in person next Saturday from 12 to 2. We'll be at Butler Lexus, South Atlanta, so you can meet this beautiful friend of mine.
You can also follow on Instagram and YouTube. Inside Georgia Real Estate is on the socials and on YouTube as well. So if you want to get a sense, find me there.
Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. Talk to you next week.
Merry Christmas.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Ever seen an origami version of the Gold Dome? Jokes aside, Verizon has the most ways to save on phones and plans where you can get a single line with everything you need. So bring in your bill to your local Atlanta Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on Root Metric True Score report dated 1H2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person with the name of the deal. Additional terms apply.